Nio stock is scheduled to report earnings on the 11th, which at the time of this recording is tomorrow. And this is an important earnings because year to date, the stock is up close to 300%. So guys, there's some sky high expectations here that investors are waiting for. And right now the stock is sitting at a $16.79 billion valuation today. So there seems to be a lot of good news priced into this stock. And I want to discuss what you should be looking out for during the earnings report tomorrow. Earnings are always a balance between expectation and reality. Sometimes expectations are set too high, the stock can't meet those expectations, and we see a sell-off. Sometimes expectations are set too low, a stock exceeds those expectations, and we see a big rally. Now it's interesting because Nio has seen some pretty strong movement in the last few months, and it's sitting close to its all-time high right now. So clearly investors have set expectations pretty high for this stock. So they have a pretty big bar to really overcome here. And I want to discuss 3 things in this video that you need to keep a close eye on in tomorrow's earnings report to figure out if they actually do justify this valuation that the stock's currently at, and if they're able to exceed these expectations. And guys, whether you're a speculator or an investor in Nio, smash that like button down below to show your support for this channel. And also, if you enjoy this kind of video where it's kind of a quick, what I'm expecting for an earnings report, let me know in the comment section down below, and I can make this more regular for other stocks that I watch closely as well. So Nio is actually one of the worst stocks to invest in if you're after a profitable business. In fact, looking here at Nio's net income, they lose hundreds of millions of dollars every single quarter. Usually when looking at this metric, investors want to see improvement year over year because this shows that the business is doing better with similar conditions year after year. Sometimes investors like to look at quarter over quarter, but for the auto industry, it's very seasonal, so it doesn't make sense to do that here. For Nio in Q2 2019, they lost $478 million, so all eyes will be on them here to see if they can report some significantly less losses here. Posting a profitable quarter at this point is more or less out of the picture. It's very unlikely that they'll be able to do this. However, if they do, the stock could see some crazy upwards momentum. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. I don't think it's going to happen, but that is a small possibility. What I think is more likely is that they'll post a loss of a couple $100 million, which is still a big loss, but much improved over the same period last year, and investors are probably going to be okay with that. Now with EPS, earnings per share, analysts are expecting negative 26 cents per share, which if they meet this expectation would be a 43.53% increase year over year. This is clearly a big achievement if they can hit this, and would be the first thing that I'll closely be watching during this earnings report to really see if Nio can continue with this momentum. The other big thing investors always look out for, especially for these type of companies here that are not profitable, is revenue growth. That's the only other thing that's really keeping investors in this stock, and they want to see continued momentum of strong growth. Similar to EPS, we want to look at year over year for revenues, and here we can see how Nio has done in recent quarters. Q1 2020, they did around 194 million revenue. Q2 2019, they did about 220 million in revenue, but we know from the delivery numbers that they will have a very strong quarter here in Q2 2020 because they have posted some very impressive numbers over the last few months on the delivery front. In fact, we can see here that they posted July's numbers just a few days ago, and the increases are staggering at triple-digit growth. In July, they delivered 3,533 vehicles, which is an increase of 322% year over year. In 2020 year to date, they have delivered 17,702 vehicles, which is an increase of 111% year over year. So it's no secret investors are expecting some massive growth here for revenue. In fact, the consensus is just over $500 million in revenue versus last year's $220 million in revenue. So that would be an increase of around 227% year over year. And when it comes to companies like Nio, vehicle deliveries are key, and we already know that Q2 has had some record-setting delivery numbers. Here I've plotted out the deliveries for the last year or so for Nio, and we can see the estimate for this quarter is record-setting and would mean a 341% growth year over year for the company. Now with deliveries, the numbers for May, June, and July are already posted, so we already know the figure more or less. And it's quite impressive to see this from Nio, despite all the issues going on in the world, especially in China. So clearly when it comes to what analysts are expecting here for Nio with their revenue growth, the expectations are sky high. They expect them to essentially double their revenue year over year. But with their delivery numbers that we already know, this is very likely to happen. So I'll say this, if they're able to exceed this, somehow they've pulled in more revenue than what people were expecting. Say they pull in around $550 or $600 million in revenue. This could be a very, very strong signal for the stock to start moving even higher. Now, the one thing a lot of investors overlook is guidance. Guys, guidance is extremely important, and investors are going to be keeping a close eye here to see if Nio does report and gives us some 2020 guidance for the remainder of the year. Usually when a company comes out and they report their earnings, it's kind of backwards looking data. It's what they achieved in the past. But investors are more excited about what they're going to achieve in the future, because when you invest, you're investing for the future of the business, not the past of the business, because that's irrelevant. That's in the past. Now, we all know that there's been some increased competition with Tesla with their factory in China now. But despite this, Nio is still posting record delivery numbers. So this is a very good sign that they're catering to a niche that's willing to pay for their brand and product versus Tesla. So there is a possibility here that guidance will come out much stronger than what analysts are expecting. That's of course if Nio chooses to post a guidance here. My concern though is that because of the global issue, we may continue to see softening of the Chinese economy in the coming months. And if we see a full out second wave, this could dampen sales quite significantly for Nio. And if that happens, it's really going to be a broader market issue at that point. But high growth stocks like Nio, high ticket items like Nio's cars that they sell, are probably going to face some struggles. Now, a lot of companies are not posting guidance for the rest of this year or into next year because there's too much uncertainty of what's going on. And if Nio does go down this route, what you do need to pay attention to as a shareholder is you want to hear their tone on the call. You want to see how they approach questions from analysts that talk about kind of the future. Are they optimistic on the recovery? Do they think that the momentum that they've been seeing will continue? That's kind of the tone you want to see. And if there's any doubt there and management doesn't seem very confident or they don't seem bullish, that could be a trigger point for a sell-off in the stocks. You got to watch very closely for that. For 2020 and 2021, there are high expectations for Nio to post incredible numbers, and they are expected to pull in nearly $2 billion in revenue this year, guys, and over $3 billion next year. So all eyes are going to be on this Chinese EV player tomorrow morning. But anyways, this was just a quick video here to share my thoughts before the earnings call tomorrow. If you guys want, I can create an update video after they release their earnings on my thoughts on what they reported. I am a shareholder of Nio, as you know. I'm also a shareholder of Tesla, and I think that both these companies can coexist in China because the market is just so large that there's enough room for both these players to succeed there. The three things that I covered in this video are the three biggest things that I will be watching in tomorrow's earnings. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything else you're going to be specifically watching tomorrow. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.